Hi everyone, Lauren here. I've actually invited a very special guest to join me today on this library. This is Mandy Habener. She is one of my teachers here at Zenko Yoga at my studio on the Sunshine Coast. Mandy's been teaching with me here for probably about a year or so, and in that time she's taken herself off to India and practiced intensely, which we're gonna hear all about, but not today. I've actually asked her to come in here today to share some of her tips on getting yourself into inversions, and it all starts in one very, very special place. Where is that, Mandy? And hello.
It's all in the core. It's all about the belly. Belly engagement, nice strong core, really, really important for all our arm balances and also for our inversions and generally in our practice.
And even if you think about it, even in the way that we sit right now, the way we eat, when we're conducting conversation, we do have that tendency, don't we, just to sort of slouch.
Doesn't matter if you're like a cyclist, a runner, having a strong core and being able to hold yourself up in any activities is going to reduce the likelihood of injury as well.
So I've asked Mandy to share a few tips with you today on how we can do that, and then we're going to be using some support.
Coin. This one's a 20-cent piece, and a slippery towel, and a surface you can work on where the towel is slippery, so it doesn't work too well on carpet.
And you could use a blanket for that, couldn't you?
Yep. Awesome.
Any other props we need for this one?
No, just a body that's willing and ready to try something new.
Well, here's a body, and I'm going to ask some questions on behalf of you while we're watching. So let's start with, what's a typical sort of core pose that clients are used to coming and doing anyway that might be familiar already with yoga?
Something that you'll see a lot in our yoga classes is our boat pose, Navasana. So this one begins on the sit bones, and sometimes we'll bring the hands beside the hips for support. So this is a great place to start. And already if I'm sitting up tall and I'm pressing my hands down into the floor, I can feel some core engagement starting. If you're comfortable here, you'd start to float the legs up where you feel the hip flexors start to turn on. If that was okay, you also lift the arms. So this is a pretty typical kind of core exercise. You can see that my feet are already shaking a little bit here. That's a good sign. Core's activated, it's working.
And what about the toes, Mandy?
Activate the toes, always. Okay, if you activate your toes, you'll stay nice and connected to the core. If I let my toes get slack, you'll see my legs get slack, and then I start to kind of fall down the posture. So super engaged, nice big smile always helps. Yeah. So that's Navasana, our boat pose, something that you'll really commonly see in class. There's another one as well, which you see a little bit here at Zenko and some other studios as well, lying on the back. So for this one, you would come to lie just in a comfortable position, relaxed shoulders and neck, and raise the feet up towards the sky. And this one's really, really subtle. What we see a lot in classes is people doing this, and it's really not necessary. It's a super slight movement, just tapping the toes ever so slightly, and you'll start to feel this quite deep within the abdomen area. So this is really deep core work. It's very subtle and very strong. So 10 of these is a good place to start in any core workout.
That's a really good place to start when you're wanting to work up into a shoulder stand, because if you can take that up when you move up into a shoulder stand, you're going to go up in stronger as well. See how Mandy moved up really slowly? A lot of people just want to sort of swing the legs up and move that way without activating the core first. And that pose also helps for a lot of the jump throughs and jump backs in the practice, which we'll touch on as well. So there's some homework for you to do.
Awesome.
So what else? I'm really intrigued by the 20-cent coin.
Okay, I'll show you what the 20-cent coin is all about. These ones are a little more creative. You won't often see them in studios. Most yoga teachers aren't walking around with 30 20-cent pieces for one. This one all comes from a plank. It's a great one to do at home. Again, you need kind of a sliding surface to work from. So you could do this on the knees in a knee plank or in a toe plank. Either way, you want to really zipper up through this core area as if there was like a corset on that you couldn't move. So we stabilize through the hips and then also through the arms. You take one finger onto the coin. I'm holding my plank. I'm going to slide that coin out as far as I can and then back and under. Trying not to move the hips too much This is really starting to work into the obliques. It's quite a strong pose. Shift hands, come back the other way. So that's one exercise, and then you can start to incorporate lifting up into a plank and using the coin again here. Slide out, slide back, lift up. Grab the coin, forward, back, up, and switching sides. So that's what I use a coin for, other than purchasing not much these days. You can't really buy much for 20 cents. You can buy a strong core.
What can you buy? A strong core.
You can buy a strong core if you spend enough time with your 20-cent piece.
That's a good one.
So, the core muscles within the body. When we're talking about the obliques, it's the side ones, okay? So you really feel these a lot when we twist. Any kind of twisting motion is starting to work into the obliques. And then down the front, there's the transverse abdominis. They're the ones that we get in more our symmetrical poses, our planks, and really deep within there when you start lifting those hips and doing the raises.
When Mandy was lifting the legs in those first ones.
You get a little bit of pelvic floor engagement happening there as well, which is also good for all of us to be practicing that too. So, you're wondering what my towel's for, yeah? I know that you're just dying to know what I'm going to do with this. Okay, so this is another really cool one. Particularly useful for if you want to get into inversions and start floating the legs up, which is definitely the safest way to move into any inversion is with control. This is the best place to start building the strength to do that. So I've just taken a towel and I've folded it up just to a little small square that I can put my feet onto. So from a plank position, feet are on the towel, gazes forward, nice and broad through the collarbones. As I inhale, I start to pull my legs up towards the hands on the tippy toes. As I exhale, feet come down, slide back into plank, re-establish.
And you can see Mandy's got a core on here and she's not letting her hips sink at all.
Very important. And then lifting up and sliding back. Nice, slow, controlled movements. Once you try one or two of these, you'll realise you probably don't want to do too many of those in a session. It's quite a strong practice to do.
And it's something you can really build up to. I mean, that's the whole thing. It's like yoga, isn't it? It's starting small and building to goodness knows where.
Adding on, adding on, adding on. Before you know it, your feet will be floating up overhead.
Thank you, Mandy. That was awesome. Tell me, what is your favourite inversion?
Favourite inversion?
What are you loving right now?
Okay, right now.
We don't like to have favourites, do we?
Yeah, I like to be equanimous. No, at the moment I'm really enjoying Pincha Mayurasana, the forearm balance. For me, it's not about the physical aspect of the pose, it's about the fear element. Because I have this conception that my shoulders are really tight and have a really big fear of flipping over. So for me, it's been about working on my core so I can float into that pose without being fearful of flipping the wrong way.
Now, people are going to be wondering what this pose is. Are you up for doing it now, or do we want to warm up a little bit more?
Well, I've just warmed up my core, so let's give it a go.
Give it a go?
Why not? Doesn't always work first shot.
And we love
Do you want freestanding or? Alrighty.
Yeah,
take this
I
off.
think so.
Let's give it a go. I won't talk through this because please don't just go and pop yourself up to this at home after you've done your core exercises. It does take time.
But Mandy's got her forearms pressing into the earth. She's also not using a mat here as well, which is to be noted.
It's very slippy.
But that is absolutely brilliant. So
but that's where it goes.
The strength in her hands and her fingers. She's pressing her forearms into the floor, and her shoulders, you can see they're really working.
Not
She's
really working.
The core in.
It's not really working at all.
Awesome. That'll definitely come down to child's pose. And you know what? That's because Mandy's probably got out of most of my teachers and most of the clients that come to Zenko, she's got one of the strongest practices here. And I love that, that not every day we can come into the pose.
It doesn't always work.
No.
Yeah, and it's mental more than anything else. It's like, if I'm used to having my mat here, I'm used to a good warm-up. And it's also challenging yourself in those times and being like, all right, I'm going to get out of my comfort. I'm just going to try and pop into it and see what happens and let go of it. Don't be attached to it. might work later.
Less attachment, more doing, more being, and more loving. That's enough from Mandy and I. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.